we are, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to explain how easy it is for you to create a very attractive looking image for your purposes. It doesn't matter if you're just doing this to feel good or if you're trying to create that look that you're a model, or you're just trying to have fun with friends. This is something that we're going to help you to do, and we're going to create very professional images with items that some of the items you might already have. We're going to start off with the new iPhone 12. All right, so here we are today. So here we go, and here's how this works. This new technology on this device here, it's very, very awesome. Basically, so what we're going to do is we have it set up for hand signals. So go ahead and demonstrate how that works. Okay. All right, ladies, so here we go. Right now we have this beautiful tablet here. This is a XP Pen Pro. This is a 22-inch tablet, and I'm going to be doing a Zoom meeting. We just did a quick introductory shoot filming of Vilma actually, shooting with the iPhone 12 by herself, utilizing the hands-free gesture feature that the DJI Mimo is the name of the DJI Mimo. So what I'm going to do now is I was originally going to actually show Vilma how to run this, but I already have this set up, and even I'm having a little difficulty with this machine and how to work it and things like that. So I thought it would be a little bit more straightforward, and I can actually pull up a computer a little bit later on and just film Vilma editing the normal process, because I don't think anyone really wants to go out and purchase one of these, but I like them, and for the purposes of showing in the background how I edit, the bigger screen is kind of a little bit better. So here we go. So this is from Vilma's cell phone here. So this image here is actually a little bit yellow. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm in Photoshop. Photoshop is the by far the most paid for editing machine or editing program for individuals out there in the market. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Photoshop, and all I've done so far is share the image via AirDrop to the laptop, which places it on here, and I have the image actually opened up in Photoshop here. So the first thing that I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at right here. This is the area that I'm going to be working with, and over here are all my layers on this end over here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to right click that, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that layer just to make sure that I have a second backup in case I do something really wrong. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to mess with the color here. I'm going to go to filter, and I'm going to go to camera raw filter. So in the camera raw filter, it's going to come up, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my my color mixer. On my color mixer, orange is kind of over the top here, so I'm going to go here to my orange. I'm going to set my color mixer onto saturation, and I'm going to take the oranges and I'm going to slide that out. See how it changes? So I'm taking a little bit of orange out of there, and there's a little bit of yellow left in there, so I'm going to mess with the yellow as well. Bring a little bit more orange back so the skin looks a little bit more natural now. So with that natural look, I think we're good on the color there. I'm going to go back up to the basics and kind of mess around with the exposure maybe. Now that I changed my exposure, the actual colors are where I don't want them to be any longer. So I'm going to go back to the oranges and take them down just a little bit. Go back up to my mixer because it looks a little bit too dark right now. Add a little exposure back to it. A little bit more contrast. Go back to my color mixer. It's a little bit too much yellow in there for me. This time I'm going to go to the luminance. There we go. I like that. Okay. One thing that I've learned is listening to women is a very difficult thing for most men to do. I'm pretty sure most women out there would attest to that. But I have learned through my 37 years in this business that everyone has their own script, even women, about what they look like. They look in the mirror and there's certain things that they want to see. And sometimes they might be just a little bit embarrassed, maybe, to actually, tell someone that, they don't like this on their nose, they don't like this wrinkle here or that. I think some women would feel more comfortable being able to go in and edit themselves because they know exactly what they want the world to see and how they want to portray themselves. So here we go. I like my colors here, so I'm gonna go ahead and accept that. Now I'm back into my Photoshop. So I'm gonna, by going from toggling from my top layer, the copy, going back, this is the change that we've made so far. So that's great. So on a Mac machine, you can right click this and make a double copy. On the Mac machine, you just hit Command J and it creates a second copy right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is there's a couple of things I want to do. With this one, I'm going to go ahead and pull this image out and place her in a different location. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to go over here and go to my lasso tool, my quick lasso tool, and I'm going to select that. And after I click my quick select lasso, now this is in Photoshop now, I'm going to go to my subject, select subject. It becomes very good. Now what it did is it actually outlined almost pretty good, but I'm going to go ahead and blow this up and let you see what it kind of mixed and missed. So right here you see some of the shoulder pads. It's not actually, this pad is really cool because I'm going to come over here and I'm going to roll this, and it actually makes my my selector tool small and large, and so I can adjust it to the way I like it. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go ahead and not do anything here. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, this selector tool, if you guys ever get this, sometimes I'm thinking, oh man, this is not working. But there's another button here, right here. If you click that again, it actually brings it back, and I need to figure out what that is, and I'm going to ask Dave Kelly how to explain it. But now it's working. So now I'm going to go to the edges of my leather. Actually, I'm going to take it way out there. And I hit that again. Hold on. Get out to my fur. I don't have this set up yet, but to go backwards, I just hit my Option key and it reverses. So now I got that pretty much selected there. Make sure all my hair is selected up here, up top. Actually, it's doing pretty good here. Slide this down. Got my hand under the arm, crotch area, fur. Bring this out a little bit more, catch a little bit more of that fur there. Alrighty. So we got this selected. So what I'm going to do is I made a few changes there. I'm going to go ahead and right click that option and duplicate it again. Then I'm going to come up here. Now I want to refine the edges that I've selected here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the select a mask tool. And right here, I'm going to go with the little hand with a brush in it. And what I'm going to actually go to the circle to replenish the things that I missed. So I'm going to go ahead and select more hair here. Just make sure, like right here, this is missing. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. Now I'm going to pull this. I'm going to put something here in the middle between these two layers right here. And I am going to do this by going File, Place, Embedded. Got it here. So here we go. So now what I've just done is, if you've seen, I've just placed this actual background in between the top layer and the bottom layer. And here it is between them. You can see how it erases everything in the background. So I got it here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to hit my shift key on my computer so I can stretch that long ways and bring that down to there. And here. Boom. So now what we have done is we have totally erased that background. And you're going to have some little rough edges around here. And the way I normally do that is I will select my top layer, which is the person, then I'll hit my eraser. Then on my eraser, I will take my opacity down pretty low. And I will go around the edges to erase the appearance that I just dropped that in there. Let me raise that up a little bit. 15% is a little low. Take about to 24. And I'm going to blow this up so I can see. The reason I got this is because in the past I've been working off a little laptop and I never blew things up. So I'm pretty sure people looked at a lot of my work and they're like, man, these edges are nasty. It's because I just couldn't see. So here we go. Here we have some edges that we can kind of soften up a little bit, come around the edges. And right here, this is actually supposed to be space in here. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll this down and I'm going to kind of erase this a little bit. I can actually bring my opacity up and get a little bit more aggressive on this one. So I'm going to come in there and erase a lot of the, and that the spin wheel that changes the size of my brush space here is really cool because I can do it on the fly. And it's really hard to do that with a mouse, but you know, you might not want to get too involved in this for right now. This is just learning the process. And we have different packages if you guys really need, you know, tutorials on how to do this, whether you're a beginner or a photographer. A lot of people are like, oh man, how did you get your lights? So what kind of lights do you use? People going out and buying lights and money and trying to buy their way into my my editing style, which doesn't really work. Let me go ahead and bring this down a little bit. Come over here, and we're going to erase that. Working on my top layer there, and I'm doing this pretty fast here. If I was blowing this up on a really large print, I would blow it up even larger and get really close. But for editing purposes, what we're doing right now, I think this is going to be good enough. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of individuals out there that would like to be a little bit more precise, but I want to keep this under 15-20 minutes. I don't want to get you bore you to death. So let me get in here, and what I'm erasing here is just some of the background from that black background that we have before. And the reason I chose a dark background here is because it's not going to show the what I missed so well. It makes it easier, especially like on the fur. Let me go ahead and change my the circle that I'm using here. It has rough edges. I want more of a tapered. Go ahead and give me a little fade. So I'm going to select that one so my edges are a lot not as drastic. Okay. Let's go ahead. I keep wanting to touch my screen. See the hair, we got some of that in the background there. I'm going to go ahead and kind of just barely erase it, get rid of that, that abrupt cutoff between the hair and the background. We'll get that up here. Are you watching back there, Vilma?
No, I just posted that piece that I filmed you on Facebook announcing people, telling them to view the full video, subscribe to our channels.
Okay, good. See, Vilma's back there conducting business as I'm over here playing. So, all right, so here we go. I'm going to kind of erase these really sharp edges here to make it look like it's more in the location. So actually, that's looking pretty good. There's a little bit too much black coming through here. And this pen is absolutely awesome. I'm able to edit right on the image. I'm gonna go back to my really sharp edge so I can get really close to the edges here. Okay. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. Even here, and sometimes that lasso tool sometimes does not do a good straight job, so I'll come around the edges here and kind of smooth it out, and you can't do that with the mouse. And just come around the edges like this and kind of smooth it out a little bit. And again, I'm not going to really get too finite on this right now. Okay, so here we go. So right now, it's looking pretty good. Let me bring this back so we can see the whole screen there. Here we go. Cool, 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 cool. So here we go. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm pretty satisfied with this right now. I'm going to go ahead and do one other thing. If you can see, right now the light is coming in this direction. It's coming, it's hitting the face. You can look at the shadows because most photographers, when they look at light, they're looking at, if you're trying to get really professional with this and you want to trick people, you're actually, the light is coming in this direction and going, and there should be a shadow back here. There's not a shadow there because we actually, added this background later. So now I'm going to add a shadow back there. So I'm going to take, since this image is by itself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this top image. I am going to make a copy of that image. And I'm going to take the one that's underneath. And I am going to right click it. I'm going to go to blending options. I'm going to go to color overlay and I'm going to make it black. Okay. Still select it. Then I'm going to come over here and go to edit. And then I'm going to transform and I'm going to go to distort. Then I'm going to take that black image and lay it down just like that and kind of, the further it gets the further it goes away, it should get skinnier. So I'm going to pull those in really tight and make it look skinnier. And then I actually like that. I'm going to hit enter, keep that there. Now we have a shadow, but it's still a little bit sharp. So now I'm going to take that shadow, I'm going to go to filter, and I'm going to go to Gaussian filter. I'm going to go to blur, Gaussian blur. And it went over to another screen. Let me go grab it right quick and bring it over so you can see it. Go to Gaussian blur. So you see how the edges now get faded. So we're going to take it about right there and click OK, and we're good. So now we have a shadow there. So now most photographers are going to look at you and say, oh man, where did they shoot this at? Because we're fooling them. We're making them think that they know that there should be light there. And the first thing they're going to ask you, what was your light? What was your light settings? And you're going to tell them, oh, I used a hair and makeup artist circle ring light on one side and my iPhone 12. They're not going to believe you. So I'm going to go ahead and combine all of this together now. So by right clicking and by going to merge visible, I've added everything together. I'm going to go ahead and do a Command J and make a copy of it. And here we go. So now what I'm going to do is start working on the image there. The first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and do, I have a skin brush. And if you look at this skin brush here, it's perforated. So that means it doesn't hit every pore. A lot of people will utilize, frequency separation and stuff like this. People can't tell what I do, and this is a shortcut for me, not having to get into those technical frequency separating your midtones from your highlights, from your shadows and all that stuff. I totally circumvent that process. And now what I do is I will come here, I'm at 13%, and I'm going to go ahead and blow this up so we can see exactly what I'm doing when I do this. And I'm going to go ahead and take that brush and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to take this brush and now we're smoothing the skin. We got that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to my a lot of people use dodge and burn in several different ways. A lot of people use dodge and burn by going to the layers and taking the grayscale and creating a new dodge and burn layer, and then clicking on one layer and doing dodge and another layer to do burn. I don't go through that. I skip all that by going straight to the midtones right here on my settings, right here to the leg, and I'm going to blow this up. Bam, done. Just like that. And to show you the difference between that, that's all I did. Now, since my light is going that direction, it looks just right. So I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. Got my light going here. Now let's go ahead and smooth the skin. Every woman on planet Earth wants this. And the photographer who tells you that, straight out of the camera, or they need to go and do something on their own, it's going to be a long time before you get a paying client. So I'm going to smooth the hand, the fingers, and right here, the edge is still a little rough for me. So I'm going to go grab my clone tool. I'm going to grab this black right here. And I'm going to go ahead and come in really close and get rid of that white. I'm going to grab a little higher here and come down here. Where you see that plus sign, that's where I'm grabbing it from. And there you go. So we took that out of there. We're pretty good on this side. And let me go ahead and smooth the skin out a little bit more here. Pull this up so I can get it more even. That's the whole leg. Perfect. Women like to be thin. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little cheating here. So I'm going to go to my liquify tool. And I'm going to bring my this selection up here, the push selection. I'm going to go ahead and bring my, before that, I don't want this to get distorted. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the stop movement selection here. I think I got the right one here. Yeah. So everything that I'm painting red is going to not move. And I do that because I'm going to push her belly in or her waist in a little bit right here. And I don't want it to look like that I'm pushing the fur in. I want that to fall naturally. So now I'm going to go up here to my push tool and push that in. Okay. Huh?
Okay.
Oh, Lord have mercy. She woke up back there. Okay. And, if she wants to boob job a little bit, I'm going to go to my bloat tool. Touch it.
And then I'll go to my bloat tool.
Bloat.
Oh.
There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and come over here. The upper half of the body is looking a little bit larger than the bottom half of the body. So I'm going to come over here. And this is preference. And I'm going to push. I'm going to push it over a little bit to kind of make it a little bit more even. Okay. Portrait Pro, which is $179, I think this is. But if you're printing this stuff big, or you want to really push this, you're gonna have to have this product. So you're gonna have to have this product. So it looks nothing like I do what I do with my actual Sony, but we're gonna work with this and we're gonna make it look really good. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get all of these around the skin, around the edges of the chin, I meant to say. And I'm going to come over here to my face selection. And now I can change the face to anything that I want there. So I'm going to go ahead and I don't change much. And I'm going to increase the neck and I'm going to increase hair volume. Then I'm going to go to skin and I'm going to mess with the contrast here, get a little bit more shadow. Okay. And if you notice here on one, I can take my shadow, I can take my light and put it on either side I want to. I can change my lighting right here. So a lot of times when I shoot, I'm not too worried about what I have there. The worst thing that I, as a photographer, am looking at is, time. How angry is somebody or how bored are they? I move fast, but if you're doing this for yourself, this is not an issue. So right now we've done that. Now I'm gonna go to, that's the skin lighting. Now let me go to the skin smoothing and skin smoothing right here. And we're gonna take it up as high as we can, bring it back down and sharpen so it'll look like there's some pores in there. And we're gonna go to the eyes and we're gonna take that and sharpen the eyes a little bit. And I think we're good here. Okay. See the difference there? Okay. Make a copy of that one. Cool. Now let me bring that down a little bit. Look at that. Look at that. Here you go, guys. And this is how we do it. And this is all from an iPhone 12. And Vilma can actually do this. If I'm over her shoulder showing her what to do, anybody can do this.